Hi, it's Cecily with Revival Nutrition and Health. Last week on Wellness Wednesday, I posted about stress. And so this week, I wanted to tweak that a tiny bit and make it relevant to IBD. And so this week, I want to talk about IBD and anxiety because there is a direct connection. So many people will list anxiety as a symptom. Something that they're experiencing if they have IBD. And anxiety absolutely has a stress impact on our bodies. And it can really wreak havoc in our lives and really paralyze us. So I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say something super bold that some of you may or may not agree with, which is completely fine because we all walk our own paths. But out of all of the symptoms that I experience with IBD, panic attacks and anxiety were by far the worst. I had physical pain, I had exhaustion, I lost massive amounts of blood and ended up in the hospital. I had just countless food sensitivities that left me with a handful of foods that I could eat without having some sort of reaction. I had skin issues and I had weight loss issues. People with IBD a lot of times will have weight loss issues, which is something that's a little bit different than our society is used to dealing with. But a lot of times when you have IBD, you can actually end up looking as bad as you feel and really fearing looking in the mirror. So out of all of those symptoms, and the ones I didn't mention that if you have IBD, you would know, anxiety and panic attacks, so debilitating for me. And so something that I've learned throughout the many years of researching IBD is that there's a direct correlation between anxiety and the health of the gut. And it doesn't really seem logical that if you suffer from anxiety that you might want to look into the health of your gut, but it's true. And so you might have heard that our bodies are full of trillions of microbes. And this is absolutely true. Most of them are on our skin and then in our digestive tract. Now, in 2007, that's when the Human Microbiome Project got underway, which was a 5-year endeavor to identify and characterize the microbial community that coexists in our bodies. Now, this project really opened the door to countless studies, and it was a catalyst, I feel, to really understanding the role that the microbiome plays in health and disease. And so through this identification of species and the characterization of these species, we're much more aware of what species cause different ailments. And so, so really, in a nutshell, if you suffer from anxiety, we need to look in the gut. And so we say, well, what disrupts the gut? You know, if a healthy microbiome is what causes good health, then what causes us to not have a balanced microbiome that works for us in the best way? And the list is, pretty long, but just to name a few, if you were born by C-section instead of vaginally, or if you were bottle-fed instead of breastfed, those can impact your microbiome. Antibiotic usage, certain medications like taking the birth control pill, they never tell us that, right? Traveling to other countries, stress, injuries, and sleep habits even. And then the standard American diet, that's a big one, what we eat. So switching these things up, some of these are well within our control. And so anyways, through all of this research, we now know enormous amounts of information. And I should add that because there are thousands of species. The research is constantly ongoing, and we're learning new things all the time, which is really inspiring. But really, we know that balancing the microbiome and returning our bodies to a state of good health, those two things are definitely connected. And so in fact, one of the biggest things that I work towards whenever I work one-on-one with people with IBD is in order to reverse or to go into remission, reverse IBD or to go into remission, we have to work on balancing the microbiome, the microbiome. And so the good news is, and I think it's super good news, is that when you heal the gut, your anxiety ceases to exist. And that's such a huge, powerful thing. If you suffer with anxiety, I'm sure you would agree with me. Like, just get me through this. Get rid of this anxiety and I can deal with everything else, because it causes such irrational thinking. So if you're sick, if you have IBD and you're super tired of living in fear and that constant state of anxiety that it's like a mouse on a wheel just constantly running, reach out and let's just see if maybe working together might be the answer that you're looking for. So, I hope this was helpful. We'll see you next week.